Good morning, and thank you for joining us for our first episode of Wellness Wednesdays. I am your host, Brenda McAllister. For many college students, time and financial resources are oftentimes limited. We are going to cover 8 steps to eating on a budget. Step 1, check the local ads and shop for things that are on sale. And you can either grab the paper copy from your local newspaper, or you can check the store's ad. The apps online are wonderful. It eliminates the need to remember to bring that flyer with you. And a lot of times on that app, not only does it indicate the things that are on sale, but a lot of times it'll also have a coupon for certain items. And a lot of them will even allow you to make a shopping list on the app. So there's no way that you're going to forget your list when you're at the grocery store. And buy larger quantities of things that you use most often. And I like to buy things in a can or frozen. And I know a lot of people think that maybe canned and frozen fruits and vegetables aren't as healthy as fresh, but many times that is not true. And the shelf life is much longer too, so it prevents any waste. Step 2, have a general idea of your weekly menu. Do you have night classes? What is your work schedule? Will you have to pack foods that need to stay cold or hot? When you're meal planning and prepping for the week, it's easiest to know which days you will have to take a lunch or maybe eat later. And that might be a good day to plan a crock pot meal. So planning ahead is a very key factor. Step 3, really try not to shop on an empty stomach. I think we've all done that a time or two, and we end up with a lot of things that we normally wouldn't buy. And usually those things are salty and crunchy, or maybe more in the sugary category. And when you are shopping, it's a good idea to take a list. So step 4, make a list and stick to it. And again, that's going to eliminate spending extra money on things that we don't need and things that we don't have a plan for. And I think there's nothing worse than going to make a meal and you're missing one of the main ingredients. And sure, sometimes we can substitute, but many times we're not able to make a recipe because we did forget something. So I think having a list is a really, really great idea. And a lot of times it seems like when we're shopping, we buy the same thing all the time. And that's actually probably your best bet. And for those things that you do tend to buy every time you're at the store, it's not a bad idea once or twice to buy 2 or 3, just in case you do forget it at one point, you have an extra. Step 5, price everything as you go. So once it hits that shopping cart, you already have a pretty good idea of what that dollar amount is going to be at checkout. Step 6, shop when the store is least busy. And I did some calling around, and the majority of stores indicated that right away in the morning, so right when they open, or right before closing is the best time to shop. It's the least busy. Step 7, and this is my favorite, immediately upon returning back to your dorm or your apartment, prepare all fruits and vegetables and put them in their appropriate container. Many times what happens is we have the best intention on eating well and meal prepping and planning and such, but what happens is we get busy. We really don't manage our time as well as we like to each day, and those really healthy foods oftentimes get pushed back to the back of the refrigerator, and by the time we remember they're there or we go to use them, they've spoiled. So when you get home, it's a great idea to just plan for a good 30-45 minutes upon returning home to spend getting the fruits and veggies prepared. Slice up the peppers, cut up the apples, put them in the container that is meant for fruits and veggies. And those containers a lot of times will have a little barrier or a little insert at the bottom that keeps all the juices off of the fruit and vegetable, which is going to make it last a lot longer. And that's usually what, spoils a fruit or a vegetable, is that food sits in its own juices. Okay, so the containers that are made for fruits and veggies are your best bet to keep your foods fresher longer. Plus, and maybe one of the biggest reasons, is if you have a container that is designated for a particular item. Let's say you have one container for apples and you have another for carrots and celery and cauliflower, whatever vegetable you would put together, and then another one for fresh berries, your strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, and such. When you see that container is empty in your refrigerator, that automatically sends a cue to your brain that you need to get that the next time you're at the grocery store. And that might not be something on your list. That's something that you'll probably just be in the habit of always having, as they do make the very best snacks. The last step, but definitely not the least, is always check the discount cart. And my mother-in-law has always called this the throw-out cart. And one time I asked her why she called it the throw-out cart, or she'll call a discount rack in a clothing store the throw-out rack. And she has indicated that sometimes she feels that the price is so low that if somebody doesn't buy it, they're just going to throw it out. And I wasn't exactly sure why stores put things in the discount cart. So I did some asking around. And I thought it was because a lot of the products were close to the expiration. And a lot of times that is. And I think that's pretty true for dairy products, maybe milk or yogurt, cottage cheese, cream cheese, things like that. And what this gal had indicated to me, which I thought was interesting, is that many times a truck will deliver more of a particular product than the store had anticipated. So for a few reasons, maybe they don't sell that item as quickly as other places. But the biggest reason is they really don't have room for that. They don't have the shelving in the store for that. So she indicated that they will discount that just to move it through the store a little bit quicker, which made sense to me. So many times it's not because it's close to expiration, it's because they just had more than what they were able to store. All right, and as always, please give us comments. Let me know what you thought of this. Do you want more ideas on meal planning and prepping? Or is there something else that you've maybe had questions on that you'd like me to touch on? And if you have any questions on anything that I've covered today, please leave me some feedback, comment. And when you do that, that really, really helps me to know what you're looking for. It kind of gives me a little bit of direction as to what we should be planning for in the future. Meal prepping and planning is kind of my specialty. I'm not going to say that I'm great at it, but I think it's very, very important. I like to keep things healthy, inexpensive, and very, very simple. Until next time, take care.